Depending on the transaction, it will update the database. That is nothing but the durability, and that updation must be for longer time or permanent. That's why it is called as durability. Then we have studied the states of transactions. There are 5 states: active, partially committed, committed, failed, and terminated. So these are the transactions. These are nothing but the states of the transactions. Now I am going to talk about the schedule. What do you mean by schedule? Okay, so let's start. Today I am going to start with the schedule. Here, what do you mean by schedule? Yeah, I have written two transactions. You can see here, transaction 1 and transaction 2. So this is my transaction 1 and this is my transaction 2. Two separate transactions are written there, and these transactions are executed concurrently, right? Then the order of executions of various instruction is known as schedule. For example, you can see if I am talking about this particular two transactions T1 and T2, then you can see here this particular transaction RA, then this particular transaction A, at the same time the transaction T2 is executing, then this particular transaction is executing, and then this particular part will get executed. If I want to name it, then it will be like this. It is nothing but 1, then 2, 3, 4, and this is 5 and 6. So in this way it will get executed. Now you in the previous examples we have seen that the schedules we have seen, those are nothing but only one transaction I am having, right? Or we have seen this example, there we were having the transactions, those are serial in nature. But here the scenario is different. Here I am having two transactions, those are executing in the same time and in a parallel way, right? That's why they are called as the schedule. So any number, any, what I can say, any several transactions which are executing concurrently or parallelly, then the order of execution of various instructions is called as schedule. Okay, so the example I have given here, T1 and T2. T1 is reading the value of A, means reading the data value A. If I want to tell you in a real life example way, then it is I am reading the value, I am reading the data value, or I am reading the account, the value of the account from A, then I am crediting rupees 10. If I want to tell you, then again I am reading the value of A, and at the same time the transaction T1 is writing the value of A, and after writing the value of A, you can see again I am crediting rupees 20, and then again I am writing the value of A. So this is nothing but one schedule. You will have a very clear idea once we will be moving forward. Okay, so this is all about the schedule. Now there are different kinds of schedules are there that we are going to see. So let's see that. Let's talk about that. So there are certain types of schedules we are going to talk about. The first one, the type of schedule is nothing but serial schedule. The first one is serial schedule, complete schedule, recoverable schedule, cascadeless schedule, and strict schedule. These are the 5 types of schedules are there. Okay, what do you mean by serial schedule? We'll start with the first one, serial schedule. What do you mean by serial schedule? The serial schedule is nothing but what? The interleaving of operation is not allowed. Means what? If I am saying this is nothing but my two transactions, transaction T1 and transaction T2, these are the two transactions, and if I am executing first transaction T1 and then transaction T2, if I am executing in this way, first I am executing transaction T1 and then I am executing transaction T2, then first of all this particular transaction T1 will get completed fully, and once it will get completed, then the transaction T2 can start, right? If suppose this particular transaction T1 is not completed in between, then the transaction T2 will not get completed also, will not at all get start. Getting what do you mean by serial schedule? Mean to say, if I am saying, if I want to tell you in a other way, if I am saying I am having two schedules, I am having a schedule T1 and I am having another schedule T2. Okay, these are the two schedules I am having. But suppose this particular transaction is having these many instructions, and this particular transaction is having these many instructions, right? Suppose this transaction T1 has executed up to this part, up to this part. This particular transaction has executed up to this particular part, up to this part I can say, right? And suppose here in this particular part there is a failure, any failure, either the hardware failure or system gets crashed or network failure, any type of failure, then what will happen? Will this particular transaction T2 will get executed? No, because unless and until T1 will get completed, T2 cannot start, because this is the serial schedule. It is like number of students are sitting in a row. If I am saying these are the number of students sitting in a row, if I am saying these are the number of students sitting in a row, and if I am moving like this, right, आणि जर इथे पहिलाच मुलगा नाही आहे, then I can't go to the second student. So in the same way, if this transaction get failed, then I can't move to the another transaction T2. That is the problem with the serial schedule. Okay, so this is nothing but the serial schedule. If I am doing, I can move in this way also. I can start with T1. Once the T1 will get completed, I will start T2 and then T2 will get completed. Or in another way, if I don't want to do in that way, I can do what? What I can do? I can do in this way. First I will start with T2. Once T2 will get completed, then I will start with T1. So you can see here, I have written the same scenario. Here in this particular scenario, what is happening? First T2 will get executed and then T1 will get executed. Right. So that is the difference between what I can say, the two types of serial. Both the schedules are serial. इथे मी पहिल्यांदा T1 एक्झिक्यूट करतोय and then I am executing T2. Here I am executing T2 first and then I am executing T1. दोघांमध्ये काही जास्त फरक नाही आहे. And I will be getting the same answer. How? See, that also I will tell you. If I am doing in first way, if I am talking about this particular example, T1 and T2, T1 followed by T2, not this one. If I am talking about T1 followed by T2, if I am doing in this way, आणि जर मी समजा, if I am taking the value of A as 100, A as 500, suppose, if I am taking the value of data value of A as 500, then you can see, I am going to read the value of A, then I am going to add rupees 50 here, so it will be what? 550. It will be what? 550, and then I am going to write that value. Again I am going to read the value here. Now what is the value of A here? What will be the value of A here? Because I have updated the value, so it will be 550. Then after 550 again I am adding rupees 100, so it will be what? 650. So here I am getting the answer as 650. But if I am doing in this way, in this particular way, in this way, T2 followed by T1, then what will happen? See, if I am doing in this way, I am going to read the value of A. The value of A is 500, right? And I am going to add add rupees 100, so it will be what? 600, right? I am going to write the value of A. So when I will be reading here, it will be 600 rupees, not 500 rupees, because that value has been updated by transaction T2, right? Who has updated? Transaction T2 has updated. So that's why it will be updated to rupees 600, right? Once it will get updated to rupees 600, I am going to add rupees 50 again to it. So it will become what? Rupees 650 again. So you can see both the transactions are giving me the same answer, rupees 650. Before the transaction there was 500 rupees in data value. The data value of A was 500, and after the transaction, in both the cases, either T2 starts first or T1 starts first, I am getting the same answer, 650, right? That's why in any way you are getting the same answer. So this is all about the serial schedule. Okay, now the second category is there. The second category is there. That second category we will talk about. That is nothing but the complete schedule. What do you mean by complete schedule? That we'll see. Complete schedule means what? Let me tell you with the help of an example. Once one transaction will get completed, fully completed, I am saying, once one transaction will get fully completed, either commit or abort. So if it is aborted, still the transaction is complete. If it is completed, means if it is committed, then it will be, then again it is a complete schedule or complete transaction, I can say. So you can see here I am reading the value of A. I am crediting rupees 50. I am writing the value of A, and I am doing what here? I am doing an important action, that is nothing but commit. So what do you mean by commit? In the what I can say, the states of the transaction, there I have told you 5 states. The first one is active, second one is partially committed, the last one is committed. What do you mean by partially committed? What do you mean by partially committed transaction? Let me come back. Let me check how many of you were physically present. Are you there or not? I'll ask to someone. Mayuresh Palkar, are you able to listen me? Mayuresh Palkar, you can unmute yourself. Mayuresh Palkar, not there. Mayuresh Palkar, not there. Then I'll ask someone else. Pankaj Shinde. Pankaj Shinde, are you there? Are you there? No one is there. So this is the online teaching. कौन present है आणि कौन absent है, that you can't identify. Okay, let it be. I will not waste the time. We'll continue. So what I was talking about, the complete transaction. In complete transaction we are having, in complete transaction, either when the transaction will get end or when the transaction will get completed by committing itself or by aborting itself, right? When the transaction or when the last operation of any transaction will either be a commit operation or will be a abort operation, then it is called as complete schedule, right? See how, if I am talking about this particular transaction T1, then T1 is committed, means the whatever the value I am trying to tell you, that will get updated into the database permanently, right? It will be updated into the database permanently. Then I am going to read the value of A again. I am performing whatever the operation I want to apply, and then I am going to write the value of A, but after that I am aborting the transactions. Means what? Means what? Suppose I am taking this particular example, rupees 500. So here after committing this, what is the value of A? The value of A will be 550, right? After 550 I am reading the value of A. After 550 I am reading the value of A. I am adding rupees 100, so it will be rupees 600, right? It will be rupees 600. It will be updated into the database, but the transaction has been aborted. Means what? Does this 600 will be appeared in the database? No, 600 will not get appeared into the database. Why? Because permanent change will not happen in the database. This is the temporary change, right? Whenever we are writing a value, whenever whenever we are writing a value, it is nothing but a temporary change. it is nothing but a temporary change. But if I am writing like this, I am writing something, and after that there is a commit operation, then it is a permanent change. Then it is a permanent change. Okay, are you getting? इथं मी फक्त जर समजा राईट ऑपरेशन लिहिलं, so it is nothing but a temporary change, means it can get changed. Whatever the value I am updating here, that whatever the value I am trying to update, whatever the value I am trying to update, that will get updated into the database, but it will be for some time. It will not be for permanent. And whenever I'll be updating the value, and after that the transaction will get committed, then whatever the updation has been done, that will be for lifetime, that will be for permanent. Not lifetime, I can say that will be for permanent. It will not change unless and until we are going to change it externally by using some other transaction or by using some other operation. Getting? So that is the meaning of commit and abort. Suppose I am having this scenario. If I am going to write the value of a, and after that there is an operation that is called as abort. Means what? It will get updated into the database. This particular state will be updating the data value. पहिले जर समजा, if I am saying there was a value of rupees 500 rupees, later on it has been updated to rupees 600, but I am aborting the transactions. Means what? Whatever the 600 has been updated into the database, that will not be there. It will get restored to its previous value. Previous value म्हणजे काय? 500. Okay, जर मी transaction abort केलं, means what? It will get restored to its previous value. Right, I am having only 10, what I can say, 10% of charging, because in my mobile, because from the morning itself there was a power cut in our area. Now the power has came, but don't worry, it will get, I hope so. I will be completing this lecture. So to complete the lecture, the power, I will be having a support in a I'll be having a enough power to complete this lecture. Let's see. Okay, then, so this is all about the complete schedule. Then I am having the next one. The next category is nothing but the recoverable schedule. So let's talk about the recoverable schedule. And now I am going to talk about the recoverable schedule. So recoverable schedule means what? That we are going to talk about. Let's see. Recoverable schedule. So here I am having a recoverable schedule. What do you mean by recoverable schedule? Now I am having three transactions: transaction T1, transaction T2, and transaction T3. T1, T2, T3. These are the three transactions I am having. Now you can see what I am doing here. Let me write down in a clear way. I am having transaction T1, I am having transaction T2, and I am having transaction T3. Right, here I am reading the value of A, and I am writing the value of A. Right, then I am reading the value of A, and then I am writing the value of A. Here I am reading the value of A, and then I am writing the value of A. Okay, now I am going serially. First this will get executed, then this will get executed, then this will get executed, then this one will get executed, then this will get executed, and then this will get executed. This is nothing but a schedule. Okay, it will run in this way. So suppose I am running this particular transaction. Suppose I am reading the, if I am talking about the transaction T1, if I am talking about a transaction T1, right? In T1 I am reading the value of A, I am writing the value of A after performing some operation, might be anything, right? Suppose this has been executed, this has been executed, right? This has been executed, and this has been executed. right? And if there is a power failure, then or is there any kind of failure, then is there any problem? समजा मी इथे या पर्टिक्युलर स्टेटला जेव्हा असेल, when I will be here somewhere, and if there is a failure, is there any problem? समजा मी म्हणतोय की आय एम, चलो I'll do one thing, I will add if I am if I am reading the value of a, I am writing the value of a. पहिल्यांदा जर a ची व्हॅल्यू समजा the value of a was rupees 500, after updating it has become 600, then I have read the value 600 here, right? And then I have written the value as 700 after performing certain operation. Then I am reading the value 700 here, and after performing certain operation I am writing the value of 800 here. Okay, chalo, let me write down in a clear way because there is lots of kachra. If I am saying I am having transaction T1, I am having transaction T2, and I am having transaction T3. If I am reading the value of a, I am performing certain operation here, and then I am writing the value of a. Here T2, I am reading the value of a, I am performing certain operation, then I am writing the value of a. Here after reading the value of a, I am performing certain operation, and then I am writing the value of a. Okay, now suppose if I am saying that कि यह a की value 500 है, if I am considering the value of a is rupees 500, initially I have read the value, after updating initially the value was rupees 500, after updating suppose the value has become 600, this value I am reading here again 600 rupees, then after writing it the value has become 700, suppose again I am reading here value, so it will be 700, and again I am updating, so it has become 800, suppose it has become 800, suppose this is the scenario, right? Now suppose, now let me come back here. If suppose this is the scenario, this has been committed here, let me use the different pen. This particular transaction has committed here, commit, this particular transaction has committed here, right? And this particular transaction has committed here. Okay, now suppose here there is a power failure, then what will happen? Suppose I am saying that if there is a power failure, जर समजा इथे power failure before committing this particular transaction, if there is a power failure, what will happen? In this particular case, if there is a power failure, what will happen? आता बघा, here I am reading the value of a as 500, I am writing the value of a as 600, means temporarily the value has been written as 600, but before committing the transactions, म्हणजे हे 600 रुपीज तुमच्या डेटाबेसमध्ये परमनंटली अपडेट होण्याच्या अगोदर इफ देर इज अ पॉवर फेलियर, जर पॉवर फेलियर झालं तर काय होईल? आता या ट्रान्झॅक्शनला माहिती नाही आहे की इथे दिस पर्टिक्युलर ट्रान्झॅक्शन हॅज फेल्ड, right? This particular transaction T2 did not know that this particular transaction T1 has failed, so it will read the same value rupees 600, कारण की याला हा टेम्पररी व्हॅल्यू रीड करतोय डेटाबेसमधनं, सो इट हॅज बीन 600 रुपीज, राईट? पण तुमच्या डेटाबेसमध्ये रुपीज 600 अपडेट झालं आहे का? नाही, कारण की डेटाबेसमध्ये फक्त टेम्पररी व्हॅल्यू 600 रुपीज झाली होती, बट बिफोर कमिटिंग द ट्रान्झॅक्शन देर इज अ फेलियर, त्यामुळे ही 600 रुपीज तुमच्या डेटाबेसमध्ये अपडेट झालं नव्हतं, राईट? बट आय एम युजिंग हियर, आय एम रेफरिंग दॅट व्हॅल्यू रुपीज 600 हियर, जी व्हॅल्यू कधी 600 झालीच नाही ती व्हॅल्यू मी 600 यूज करतोय. या डेटा एलिमेंटची व्हॅल्यू कधी 600 रुपीज झालीच नाही, ती व्हॅल्यू मी 600 यूज करतोय. आणि 600 यूज करून मी त्यावर ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म केला. ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म केल्यानंतर मी त्याला 700 रुपीज कन्सिडर केलं, म्हणजे आफ्टर परफॉर्मिंग दी ऑपरेशन आय हॅव अपडेटेड इट टू ₹700. Likewise, whatever the value I have updated here, this value has been read by this particular transaction T3. या T3 नी this value 700 has been read, and after performing it has been read as ₹800. आता बघा, याने 600 घेतलं आणि तो कमिट झाला, याने ₹700 घेतलं म्हणजे रीड केलं आणि तो कमिट झाला. आता बघा यामध्ये प्रॉब्लेम काय आहे की ही ₹600 घेऊन या हे ₹600, this transaction T1 has never updated to ₹600, but this T2 transaction has referring it to 600, and by referring it to 600 it has got committed, right? म्हणजे चुकीची व्हॅल्यू अपडेट झाली डेटाबेसमध्ये. इन अ सेम वे this value 600 has been referred by the transaction T3, right? You can see here this particular transaction T3 is referring the ₹700, and it has also got committed, right? So it is a complete inconsistency, because whatever the value these transactions are referring, those are incorrect, right? So what is the solution for this? This type of transaction are called as rollback. This type of transactions are called as the recoverable schedule. How we are going to recover this? See, आता ह्या हे दोन ट्रान्झॅक्शन T2 and T3 they are got committed, and before committing them we need to roll back them. Rollback means what? We need to restore them. Rollbacking means what? Rollbacking is nothing but, I will tell you a real life example. What do you mean by rollback? तुम्ही तुमच्या अकाउंटमधनं जेव्हा ऑनलाईन ट्रान्झॅक्शन करता आणि ऑनलाईन ट्रान्झॅक्शन करताना जर समजा काही रिअल टाइम प्रॉब्लेम आला, मीन्स इफ देर इज अ पॉवर कट, और इफ देर इज अ power failure, or if there is a what I can say network failure, तुमच्या अकाउंटमधनं पैसे तर डिडक्ट होतात, पण तुमचं तिकीट बुक होत नाही, किंवा तुम्ही जी वस्तू ऑनलाईन घेण्याचा प्रयत्न करताय ती तुम्हाला म्हणजे तुमचा जो ट्रान्झॅक्शन आहे ती कंप्लीट होत नाही, राईट? सो in that case what will happen? Whatever the money has been deducted from your account, that will get refunded to your account within 2 to 3 days. तो 3 दिवसानंतर किंवा 2 दिवसानंतर किंवा 1 दिवसानंतर तो जे पैसे तुमच्या अकाउंटमधनं कटलेत और कट झालेत ते तुमच्या अकाउंटमध्ये परत येतात. दॅट इज नथिंग बट अ रोल बॅक, राईट? इफ यू आर युझिंग फोनपे, राईट, इफ यू आर युझिंग फोनपे, जर तुम्ही फोनपेने ट्रान्झॅक्शन करायला गेलात आणि तुमच्या अकाउंटमधनं पैसे कट झाले, देन इन्स्टंटली इट विल गेट रिटर्न टू युअर what I can say, it will get returned to your account immediately within 1 hour, I can say. So that is nothing but that is nothing but the phenomena of rollback. So here there is the same scenario. Before committing the transaction I need to roll back this particular transaction. Before committing this I need to roll back this particular transaction, and before committing this I need to roll back this particular transaction. So the same I have tried to explain. You can see here scenario I have told you. If there is a power failure, so if there is a failure here, then I need to roll back this. पण नुसता हा रोलबॅक केल्याने होऊन जाईल का? जर मी याला रोलबॅक केलं तर मला हा पर्टिक्युलर ट्रान्झॅक्शन पण रोलबॅक करायला लागेल, आणि दिस पर्टिक्युलर ट्रान्झॅक्शन ऑल्सो आय नीड टू रोल बॅक, राईट? सो इट इज कॉल्ड एज कास्केडिंग रोलबॅक. म्हणजे जर मी एकाला रोलबॅक केलं तर मला सगळ्यांना रोलबॅक करायला लागेल. इट इज लाईक अ रो ऑफ बायसिकल स्टँडिंग इन अ रो. If one bicycle falls, all bicycle will automatically fall. It is nothing but the cascading effect, the cascading rollback. If one transaction will get rolled back, then the other transaction I need to roll back, because to have a consistency in the transactions. Okay, so that's what I have written here. You can read this out. In each pair of transaction Ti and Tj, means if I am referring it to T1 and T2, such that Tj reads the value of data item was previously written by Ti. Mean to say, if T2 reads the data value of data item which was previously written by T1, then the commit operation of T1 should appear followed by the commit operation of Tj. You can see इथे मला पहिला commit operation कोणाच्या अगोदर आहे, right? You can see here, then the commit operation of Ti म्हणजे कोणाचा T1 चा should appear followed by the commit operation of Tj. जर मला हे करायचं असेल तर मला काय करायला लागेल, हे commit operation इथं नको व्हायला. This commit operation should be above the T1, then it will get completed. Likewise, this particular commit operation will be above here somewhere, right? Then it is a recoverable schedule. Okay. Then hope so you people have understood. Then the next one I am having is called as cascadeless schedule. What do you mean by cascadeless schedule? The same example, opposite of this, here I am having cascade, the recoverable schedule, the cascading rollback. So that has been recovered from the, here there is no need to do a the cascading rollback. How? Because you can see here, if I am talking about transaction T1, it has started and it has committed here itself. This particular transaction has started and committed here itself. This particular transaction has started and committed here itself. So if there is a problem, जर समजा problem आला, what is the problem? If suppose there is a failure at this particular point, if there is a failure at this particular point, then I need to roll back only this particular transaction. कारण की जोपर्यंत हे particular transaction commit होत नाही तोपर्यंत this cannot refer the value. Getting? And unless and until this particular transaction will get completed, the other transaction cannot refer the value. That's why it is a cascadeless schedule. We do not, we whatever the cascading rollback was there, that cascading rollback effect is removed by using your cascadeless schedule. Okay, how it works? In this pair, each pair of transaction, if I am referring it as T1 and T2, here I have written TA, TI and TJ, but I am not taking it, what I can say, physically. That's why I am referring it to T1 and T2. So if I in this each pair T1 and T2 such that wait for 1 minute. Yes. If I am referring the each pair of transaction T1 and T2 such that the transaction T1 reads the data value of data item which was previously written by T1, means T2, this T2 is reading the value which was written by Ti. Then commit operation of T1 should appear, then we read the value of the same data item in transaction T2 followed by the commit operation of T1. This is T1, this is Ti, not T, this is not Ti, Tj, this is Ti. We read the value of the same data item in transaction Ti followed by commit operation of Tj. So you can see here I am reading, let me clear it out. The commit operation of T1 is before the commit operation of T2 and commit operation of T3 is after the commit operation of T2, means the commit operation of T1 is before T2 and commit operation of T2 is before T3. Here there is a different scenario, you can see out. Here the commit operation of T1, right? Here the commit operation of T2 is after T2 and commit operation of T2 is after T3. Likewise, so this is the difference between a recoverable schedule and cascadeless schedule. Okay, hope so you people have understood what do you mean by cascading rollback and how we recover from the cascading rollback. Okay, done. Then one last type of schedule is there, that is nothing but the strict schedule. So let's talk about this strict schedule and then we'll bind up. The strict schedule means what? Strict schedule is nothing but what? If the value returned by the transaction unit to be read or overwritten by another transaction before committing or aborting the same transaction, then it is called as strict schedule. What do you mean by strict schedule? It is like complete schedule. Complete schedule मध्ये काय असते? You can see complete schedule. In complete schedule, what is happening? The transaction will get committed at the end. Here in a strict schedule, either the transaction will get committed or it will get aborted, and after that the another transaction will start and it will get committed or it will get aborted. That is nothing but a strict schedule. Means I must specify either the transaction will get committed or the transaction will get aborted. That I must specify. That's why it is called as a strict schedule, right? So every strict schedule is a cascadeless schedule. right? Or every cascadeless schedule is a strict schedule? Can I say every cascadeless schedule is a strict schedule? Or can I say every strict schedule is a cascadeless schedule? Yes, I can say every cascadeless schedule is a strict schedule. No, I cannot say, but every strict schedule is a cascadeless schedule, because I am specifying either I am going to abort the transaction or I am going to commit the transaction. So that's why there will be no need to roll back. That's why every strict schedule will be by default a cascadeless schedule. Every strict schedule will be by default a cascadeless schedule, and vice versa is not true. Okay. So this is all about the different types of schedules. Hope so you people have understood. Still, if you are having any doubt, let me come back. But before that, let me close it down.